So yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I put out a special announcement, a special market update saying that, look, the market has got a lot of downside potential, at least finishing off 2014 and potentially as we transition into 2015. We spoke about on a weekly and also on a monthly chart that the markets are very overextended, and in fact, they're giving us some pretty compelling bearish divergence signals. Now, what bearish divergence is really telling us is that the market is slowing, or at least momentum to the upside is really starting to slow down, and potentially it ushers in what we call a terminal trend reversal. When we speak about trends, there are three levels to the trend. There's the primary, the intermediate, and also the minor trend. When we speak about divergences on both a weekly and a monthly chart, we're really speaking about the monthly trend, or at least the primary trend of the overall market. Now, since 2007, we haven't seen a sell-off. We haven't seen a retracement. That is exactly what I do think is setting up on the primary trend of the Dow Jones, the S&P, and also the NASDAQ. In other words, we could have established a top in the market. I very rarely say this, if ever. Yesterday was actually the first time I've said that in the history of this YouTube channel, but it's something which is very real, something which is very important, and something which could potentially start playing out as soon as this week. Now, again, today we saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average. After the announcement I made yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average sells off close to 300 points. The NASDAQ is down close to 70 points, and the S&P in and of itself is down 30 points. Now, we understand that one day doesn't make a terminal trend reversal. Yes, we have to see some form of chart topping pattern, but at least for the short term in the overall markets, it looks as if the Dow Jones is going to come down and test this old support level around 16,511. That is the first support which we are looking at. On the S&P, we've got 1,912, and on the NASDAQ, we're looking at a support level which we very closely hit, or nearly hit, around 4,376. Yes, it can come down a little bit lower, pretty much down to 4,320, somewhere in this vicinity. But in the short term, at least looking at the market, there is much more significant downside potential than there is in the way of buying opportunity, and it has been the case for the better part of 3 weeks. Now, again, we can analyze markets, we can come to these conclusions, but it does take time to, of course, happen. That is exactly what we are experiencing right now when we take a look at the weekly and also the monthly. We can say to a high degree of certainty, to a high degree of probability that, look, the market has established a top, and there is going to be a bear market for 2015. Now, again, it doesn't have to occur, but at least in the short term, price is definitely moving lower, at least intersecting with the primary trend, which has been in effect since 2009, as you can see coming up on my screen with this red arrow down here, or this red extension down here. This is really a target down here around 15,900 or 16,100 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So this is really the beginning of what could be a significant move lower for the markets. And when we have a look at individual trades, Apple again is looking to roll over. You can see here it hasn't actually triggered. The same with Amazon, wanting to move lower. It's simply moving sideways for the time being. AXP had a quick sell-off, hit our stop today. That's all well and good. It's coming down to retest that support level. Baidu is still moving sideways. Watch the Bollinger Bands to constrict price. Caterpillar starting to sell off again. We hit our target down here at 95.44. That trade is done and dusted. Another profitable trade. FAS absolutely tanking, moving down to 97.64. Again, there wasn't really a trade set up over the weekend in this particular ETF. Google is tanking. It looks to be breaking out of what was potentially a symmetrical triangle. Entry is at 567. HE is pulling back from that top. 94.20 was the entry, but it looks as if it is wanting to move, or at least retrace back into that 20 exponential moving average. Keep a close eye on HD. JPM really looks as if it's establishing a top. We're waiting for a close below roughly 58.30 on that potential stock. Netflix, a good pullback today. Shooting star candlestick actually on the daily time frame. So if you did get into this, we had a stop here about 460. 60 should be out of this stock. Earnings is coming up. Pay close attention to not only earnings, but what the market is doing. If you see that the market obviously wants to move lower, you should be aligning that with individual stock plays. Starbucks looks to be breaking support, or close to breaking support. 73.10 is the target or the entry on that particular stock. And XOM, two shooting stars on both Tuesday and Monday. Just waiting for a continuation and the bearish trend to continue. We've got a lower high, lower high, lower high, and we've got a series of lower lows. So by definition, we are in some form of a downtrend. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as if we are going to remove Google from our list and add in Tesla. Let's have a quick look at Tesla and see if there's any opportunity at the moment. Tesla's quite interesting. It looks to be forming what could be a head and shoulders chart topping pattern. So here we are. We've made the head up here about $300, $286 to be exact. We've got the left shoulder, what could be potentially the right shoulder. All I need to do in this particular stock is drag this order over here and start saying to ourselves, if we start closing below 233.50, this could be a very nice short trade on Tesla as we break the neckline. So I'm going to keep that here at 233.50. First target, it is not rocket science, down to support around $219. That is a quick $14 move to the downside on Tesla, only once we confirm at 233.50. So I'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching this market update. Get involved in our pro analysis class if you're not in it. If you want to at least inform others of where the market could be heading, put them in check, put them in line with this YouTube channel. I put out systematic and routine sort of updates every Monday and Wednesday, but when the market makes a significant move like it has today on Tuesday, I'll always give you an update. So thank you so much for watching this analysis video. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, position yourself correctly to capture what could be the downside potential of this market. All the best. Goodbye.